What's good, YouTube? It's Cuddle of Death here. Very happy to woo! And we are back with my Week 2 United Championship League battle. This is against Long Island Regirockies coach. It's Nips. I will actually have any of my opponents that I face throughout the season linked in the description, so make sure to check them out. And I would also like to announce that we do have TULSA Talonflames t-shirts. That's a mouthful to say. All you have to do is head on over to teespring.com/teamtt. You can laugh, you can make jokes. I already know. I set that one up myself, but that will also be linked in the description if you would like to get your own TULSA Talonflames t-shirt and help support the team. Moving on to our actual teams here, I decided to go with the Ferrothorn Heatran combo. I also brought Seismitoad, Latias, Virizion, and Dusknoir, while Nips decides to go with Mamoswine, Mamoswine, Gliscor, Tornadus, the freaking Bell Pokemon, and Breloom, as well as Manectric. I freaking hate the Bell. Do you guys like the Bell? I hate the Bell. That's what I just call it, is the Bell. I don't even give it its nickname or its actual name, which is a Bronzong. I know that, but it's the Bell. Looking at his team, I know even before I made this team up here, looking at his draft, Tornadus is actually a huge threat because of how many different sets it can run, what he could be doing to counter team me. That is the biggest threat out of his entire draft towards my team. My draft towards my draft is his Tornadus. For this particular thing, I did not like seeing the Bell. I didn't like seeing Bronzong and Tornadus, and I mean, Gliscor is never fun to deal with, and Mamoswine is just a powerhouse. Now, of course, seeing his Manectric, that was the Mega that he picked for his draft, I figured I would probably end up being Mega Manectric, which is also interesting because I freaking love the crap out of Mega Manectric. You can run it with so many different sets. It's a great scouter. It's super fast. Intimidate as a Mega, using it against, you know, a Pokemon that's brought in that's a physical Pokemon, that's just great. It's super great. But I'm going to go ahead and get straight into the battle. Hope that you guys will enjoy it. And regardless of results, keep in mind to support your favorite teams week after week and cheer them on, because all these battles are for fun. They're not to be taken super seriously. And also, I've been reading like Reddit threads and stuff. You guys have been posting about UCL. UCL is like everywhere. Twitter, Reddit. Just all of these articles that are popping up, even if I don't directly respond or tweet at you, I am seeing all of these articles you guys are writing, and I think it's rather interesting. So we're going to go ahead and get into the battle. Okay, now that we finally made it through all of that, we are starting here. There were a few different leads that I could have taken here. I could have went, you know, into Ferrothorn, which I decided to lead with him, but at the same time I was afraid of the Manectric lead. I thought he would think that that was a bit too obvious, so maybe he would have led with something else. Seismitoad was another lead that I did have in mind, strictly for the fact that he could have led with Manectric. One of the things I was fearing from Manectric was Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Ice, you know, had he had that for my dragon types. He decides to go ahead and just go for a Volt Switch. I absorbed that no problem, and because my Seismitoad is Assault vested with special defense as well as HP investments, I do actually take that quite well, and I mean, it's freaking quad effective. Then I decide to go into my Heatran here. Unfortunately, gonna lose my air balloon. And a thing that I wanted to point out on Nips's teams, that's a great word, but on his team here is that once I saw that he had the Gliscor and did not bring the Tentacruel, I figured he doesn't actually really have a way to get rid of rocks unless his Gliscor has Defog, which if it did have Defog, that would mean that it's not Poison Heal, because Defog, I believe, if I remember correctly, was from 4th gen for Gliscor, not allowing it to have Poison Heal. So I actually get my rocks up here with my cabbages, and I know PK is going to be super happy about that. He also gets his rocks up. Rocks are not actually something I'm fearing too much for my particular team. If you guys, you know, looked at the beginning, you'll see not a lot of my Pokemon are going to take major rocks damage. I don't know if he was predicting the knockoff here, but I went ahead and went for it. I decided to put knockoff on 2 of my Pokemon, Seismitoad and Cabbages, just because he did have a few Pokemon in his draft, such as Haunter and Frogadier, which we're going to hold an Eviolite, and, you know, knockoff is always nice, especially when you're battling competitively. So I predicted him to go ahead and switch here, but even if he didn't, I figured that I could get a free leech seed up. The only thing that would not work against is his Breloom. But I figured he might not go into it. The chances are pretty low. So I went ahead and go for a leech seed. This is something that maybe I should have predicted, but I didn't. He goes into his Breloom here, actually. And I just go straight for a protect because I thought it was a safe play. I mean, you can't get any safer than protect, right? He gets his toxic orb up, you know, it's going to be that nice toxic heal Breloom, which is not going to be good for us. So just to try to take whatever it is he's going to shell out, I switch into my Virizion. This Virizion's actually very weird, and you guys will see. You guys will definitely see very soon. I wasn't predicting the focus punch. I haven't dealt with a lot of Brelooms, so I definitely was not predicting the focus punch there. He gets it behind the sub, so it doesn't matter. We get ours in headbutt off, and if you guys don't know, Virizion has pretty crap defense, especially with no investments, and it just dies, so I felt really bad. I feel like the Virizion could have definitely put in more work. I should have planned way better on that one, but it was a Scarf Virizion, something that I usually don't use. But for his team, I figured that it would be nice. I had coverage for a lot of his mons using it, but now I'm actually in my Dust Noir because I'm thinking, what can you do to it? He puts it to sleep with Spore, which is going to be super annoying, but I figured I'd go ahead and stay in because what else does he have? He has Focus Punch, so he can't really do anything there. He hasn't revealed some of his other moves here, and I don't think Breloom can get knockoff, so we're good. He goes back behind the sub here. He's not able to do anything. I wake up right there and go for the Ice Punch. It immediately breaks his sub and is a critical hit. So we need to call the freaking sub busters here for Noob, the Dust Noir, because, I mean, he's freaking here. He is here to mess around. He's here to stay. And I just go for Shadow Sneak because at this point the Breloom's not going to have amazing defense, and damage is damage, plus he's probably going to go back for a Spore again. I get another crit back to back. I really could have used, you know, him not having that annoying sub there. But Noob goes back off into Dreamland, and I'm like, okay, Noob, you can go have... Actually, do ghosts have nightmares, or are their nightmares technically considered dreams? Anyways, he reveals that he has Seed Bomb, and because Noob is technically my special wall, he doesn't really take that Seed Bomb too awfully well, although it doesn't do quite half damage. But Dust Noir is not known for his amazing HP stat because it's so low, and I believe I talked about this whenever I was facing Nappy. He goes into his Mammosh, his Mamoswine here. So I go ahead and go for an Ice Punch. I was thinking about doing Shadow Sneak, predicting some sort of switch, but at the same time, maybe he could have swapped into something else, which I could have potentially gotten. I could have gotten the freeze on anything but his Mamoswine. I was not expecting the knockoff, which is something, you know, that I need to actually take note of. I didn't do a lot of research on Mamoswine. I didn't know too much about it. I know it can have like Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, freaking Earthquake, and plenty of other moves out there, and it's just a powerhouse. You guys saw, I think it was Life Orb. And I just gave up my Dust Noir. But at the same time, I didn't really want my other Pokemon taking damage from it. So, Dust Noir is down. This Breloom is back out. And another thing I wanted to try to do was I figured maybe he would have just gone for a Focus Punch, predicting a switch there, just to get a free Focus Punch off, right? Because I wouldn't have hit him. But instead, I over-predict, and he ends up getting his Focus Punch off because this knockoff is not going to work. I mean, it makes a substitute fade, but I didn't directly hit him, which is unfortunate, so that over-prediction gets the Ferrothorn killed. Another thing that I would have probably done better is the Rocky Helmet Iron Barbs combo here. So it's like stuff that I'm taking note of, essentially, for future battles, because it's only week 2, and like I said, it's just for fun. I switch into my Latias, which you guys saw last time was a wall for me, but this time my Latias is actually my special attacker. So I go ahead and go for the Psyshock, and I figured maybe he would go into his Bronzong, but I wasn't completely sure. So as you guys can see, it did not do very much damage. That was a decent switch. I was predicting an Earthquake here, so I switched into Bloop, knowing that he would definitely be able to take an Earthquake or a Gyro Ball Why did I say it? It wasn't an earthquake. Yeah, the gyro ball. The gyro ball is what I was predicting. I wasn't predicting an earthquake. That was really bad. But I guess technically he could have, I don't know, thought I was predicting gyro ball and went for something else. Anyways, Bloop doesn't die, goes for a drain punch and finishes off the bell, the evil, evil bell. I hate this thing so much. And I was so happy to see it go, but, you know, things aren't really looking all that up for me right now. Now, this is something, he could predict a switch here, or he could go straight for the hidden power ice. I was predicting, excuse me, hidden power grass. I was predicting that he was going to predict the switch, hoping for a volt switch, but once again, I over predicted, and that's a lot. You know, my over predictions have definitely cost a lot of my Pokemon deaths outside of not having knowledge, not thinking about the knockoff earlier. So he gets his volt switch off, switches into his Tornadus, and I go for the Psyshock predicting some sort of thing coming out here, and it's so funny because it barely lived. I could have went for a Draco, I could have dropped a Draco and, you know, essentially O-code it and taken extra life orb damage. That really, really sucks that it lived like that. Things still weren't looking up for me, but Latias actually has a lot of potential against him on this team. He goes for the knockoff and takes the life orb damage, and that's what actually kills him. He goes back into Manectric here. You know, things are just looking really, really good. He can easily just Volt Switch or use some other attack on me to take me out. He goes for the Stab Thunderbolt, which is going to be lots and lots of damage. Takes down Heatran, and things are pretty much looking super bad here. Latias comes back out. You know, the rocks haven't really done a lot of damage to my team, just whittled me down enough, and that is actually that battle. The Thunderbolt is the game-ending move. It was a very, very enjoyable battle, so good job to Nips. And I am excited to be taking on Shady next week. That is going to be my opponent with the New York Mankeys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like, and I hope that you guys are still enjoying regardless of the scores. Like I said, this is all for fun, and I understand people would have done things differently, and just analyzing this battle, you know, going back over it, I understand I made a lot of over predictions and a few things that I gained a bit of knowledge on, so I'm interested to see where I stand as all 16 battles go by. I want to see the knowledge that I've gained after that, but it was super fun. Make sure to pick yourself up a TULSA Talonflames t-shirt. Once again, it'll be linked in the description, and I will see you guys next week for another battle. I should finally have my laptop here in Canada. Maybe I'll do some team analysis beforehand, because right now I'm not really doing it. I'm not using my computer. Using my boyfriend's computer, and yeah, good fun times there, good fun times, and bad internet, so all of that stuff. I will see you guys back next week, and I will be planning for Shady's team. Hopefully we will do well. I love you guys, thank you guys for watching.